Now, what do you feel about this, Andrew? That Djokovic, I thought he spoke very well in the interview last night. He pointed out something that annoys me, and I know it annoys you, that just because he has chosen personally not to get the vaccine, not to have the vaccine, it doesn't make him an anti-vaxxer. He just does not want the COVID jab. And this man now faces his entire career being snuffed out because every major, every foreign tournament is going to demand that he is vaccinated, and he will not do it. So we are basically busy destroying on a global basis the career of possibly the greatest tennis player the world has ever seen. That's a kind of a tragedy, isn't it?
It is a tragedy. It feels like the world has gone completely mad. I mean, let's remember that Novak was kicked out of the Australian Open because he didn't have COVID. I mean, I think we've got to remember that. He'd had COVID, so he'd already had COVID antibodies inside him. He was already testing negative, but he was kicked out because he didn't have COVID because he didn't have a vaccine. Now, that is completely his choice. And as you quite rightly said in your opening remarks there, Kevin, he's not an anti-vaxxer. It's not that he doesn't believe in it, he just doesn't want it himself. And as I say, that is his choice. But we're seeing this all over the world. I mean, look what's happening in Canada, where Justin Trudeau's brought in these emergency powers just to end truckers' protests. So there is a movement right across the world that is demanding that people have this vaccine. We were told that it was always going to be voluntary, and thankfully in this country, more or less has been. The government's backed down on the NHS workers' side of things. But in other countries, it's not voluntary. No. People's lives would be made very, very hard and difficult if they do not have a vaccine.
Yeah, and of course Justin Trudeau, if you don't get the vaccine, he seems to think that not only are you an anti-vaxxer, you're also a Nazi, a racist, a misogynist, and any other evil thing that he can call you. It's ludicrous. Let's just have a little listen to Novak Djokovic on his anti-vax stance, which he says he is not. Let's have a listen.
So it's really unfortunate that there has been this kind of misconception and wrong conclusion that has been made around the world based upon, something that I completely disagree with.
So, yeah, there he is stating that he's not an anti-vaxxer. It's about body autonomy. And, I mean, on a practical level, Andrew, this is a supremely fit athlete who looks after himself like no one else. I mean, he's almost notorious for his kind of meticulous military fitness regime. He can test everywhere he goes. He does not present a health problem to anyone, particularly as Omicron seems to be the good news we've been waiting for, and that the pandemic all over the world is on the wane. Why are we going to preside globally over the demise of this great player's career just on the back of whether or not he has a needle in his arm? He's not going to be a super spreader, is he?
No, he's not going to be a super spreader. And on a practical level, all of this is bonkers anyway, because we know that even if you've had 3 vaccines, you can still get COVID. Most recently, we've seen that with Prince Charles and the Duchess of Cornwall. But they're not getting very ill. And we've also seen that even if you are triple vaxxed, you can still spread COVID. So it goes back to the fundamental point here, that if you choose to have a vaccine, it's because you are choosing, making the right decision for you. You believe that is going to protect you from the worst that COVID has to offer.